And welcome back to episode 5 of Cavaliers Corner. I'm your host, Moe Khan, and this week we are joined by a man who is very synonymous with the Champlain Athletics Department and the men's basketball team, Dan Martin. Coach, how you been?
Things are pretty good. Happy to be here and good chance to talk basketball for a while.
It's been a while, Coach, since we last saw each other. I believe it's been probably 8-9 months, give or take.
Yeah, based on your haircut, I would say something around that time.
Well, I'm due for a haircut, right? Who knows?
Mine's about the same.
That's all good, Coach. So, Coach, let's dive into it. Obviously, COVID has ruined the world and has ruined sports, especially for stage-up sports across Quebec and, of course, across CCAA. How's it been for you and your coach staff dealing with COVID in the last few months?
I mean, I think like everyone, it's been a roller coaster of maybe we're playing, maybe we're not playing, and trying to just adjust almost daily, weekly to new information, and trying to do everything we can to support the student athletes throughout that time period. I think, to the kids' credit, they're young, they're resilient, they're more able to adapt probably than the older ones of us. So they've been really good, they've gotten used to working out on their own in the basement. We're back in the gym now to some extent, so that's been nice. But it's really just been about adapting to each different scenario that we've been presented with, and trying to make sure that we support the athletes the best that we can.
You mentioned the athletes right now. How is the team morale knowing that, they missed out on a fall semester of basketball and being in a team environment on a daily basis with practices, locker room jokes, and, of course, playing in competition?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. I think that's probably what they've missed the most, is just the routine of being with each other. And we're a pretty tight-knit group, and we typically spend, 20, 30 hours a week together. So that's been a big change for them. And I think at the beginning they struggled a bit to adapt to that. But in the last couple of months, I think they've kind of caught their stride again and have figured out the online learning stuff, and have figured out how to train, obviously with some guidance, but mostly on their own. And now they're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel to some extent. And, we don't know when for sure we're going to get back on the court and competition, but I think now they know it will happen. And that kind of gives them a goal to aim for long term.
Right. So you mentioned these positive outlooks from your players in the sense of no structured basketball, with practices and games. Was it a challenge to keep – I know you mentioned it's been easy, it's been good here and there, but was it a challenge at first to keep them focused away from the court, to keep them motivated in school? And also, as you said before, right, with the individual training issues that they have or things like that to move forward with what they had going on?
I think the biggest change that they had to get used to was just dealing with less structure, and not having the routine that they're used to. As far as going to their classes, I think every student in Quebec and the world has struggled a bit with figuring out how to study from home and learn online. Champlain was very supportive in getting guys technology, laptops, and access to different things so that they could make sure that they achieve good results, and really actually our results have been better than they typically are over the last semester. So I think most of the guys really bought into the idea that they need to pass their classes, and they need, they don't want to fall behind. So we have had good results throughout, and I think that we did some stuff to try and help them along with that, but mostly it's a credit to them, just being able to see the big picture, and that they will need to graduate on time to have a chance to play at the next level, and that they have to pass those classes to get there. As far as training goes, I think, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there was a sigh of, I can be lazy, I don't have to work out kind of for a while. But, they're naturally active kids, and after a while they started looking for stuff to do. And our gym is as full as it can be every time we have the opportunity. They're just dying to get going again.
If we have, let's look, right now we're in December, so we would have reached the halfway point of the year for the basketball stage-up season. If there was basketball, what would the DNA be of this roster, given that there was a transition of the veterans moving on and, having a lot of second and first-year players come into the fold?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say because we were going to be so young this year with mostly first and second-year kids. We only have two seniors on the team this year. So I think we would have been an energetic group. I think we would have we would have been pretty talented offensively, and we would have had to learn how to defend really. I think, the second year players played significant minutes in their first year, so we've had some good leadership from them. But I think we would have been a high-paced, fast team. We lost some size from last year. And we knew going into this year we were going to have to play fast, press a lot, and that's what we've been planning for. And I think that's what you're going to see moving forward as well. A lot of threes, a lot of full court stuff, because our overall size is not huge, but we've got pretty good length and athleticism across the board.
You mentioned the two seniors. How is it for them, knowing that there probably won't be a basketball season, especially with them trying to get schools to look at them, whether it's here or down south?
Yeah, I mean that's the the two guys that are definitely it's toughest on. I think hopefully we're slowly getting back to the point where we're in the gym now, so we can film some workouts and we can get some tape out to coaches like that. Those two guys have had to be the most on the ball as far as staying in shape, and I think hopefully by April, May, kids will be able to go for a workout at a university and kind of show the coach maybe in a 3-on-3 setting or an individual setting, what they're capable of. And that's, you got to walk into that workout in good shape and not too rushed. I think all the coaches understand that not having played for 18 months obviously is going to affect your game. But those two guys have had to fight it, I think, the most mentally, just to see how they can continue on their career at the next level.
Let's talk about recruiting, Coach. It's the lifeline for any varsity program, CEGEP or university. How has it been for you trying to sell the program to kids who can't physically come to the campus to see the facilities and school itself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's some different challenges. I think it's also opened up some different opportunities too. Obviously travel time was cut down to nothing because everything was done virtually. So we were able to do online sessions with all the kids that we were recruiting. We have we have 5 guys committed for next year already, and I'm very happy with those 5. I think having coached at the provincial team in the previous season was that group of kids that is graduating this year. So that gave us kind of a leg up, and I knew a lot of those players, and a lot of them knew me as well. And that was probably the biggest thing when it comes to recruiting, is getting to develop a relationship between the coach and the player. And we kind of had a head start with that in a lot of cases. So that was really helpful. But honestly, it was like most things, the coaches have got to work. And I think our staff did that. We were in the gyms when we were allowed to be, and when we weren't allowed to be in the gyms, we were doing our thing online. So it's been new, it's been different, but I'm really happy with the way it's turned out, actually.
Let's go off course here, Coach. Look, CEGEP game, we know how it's starting to grow again. Recently, we've seen a lot of Quebec kids go to prep schools, and Kareem Mane was the one who kind of defied that, stayed here, and went to the NBA. Are you seeing the CEGEP game become much more attractive for all Quebec kids to stay in province and play basketball, whether it's at Champlain or somewhere else in Quebec?
I mean, I think it's a tough question, and the answer kind of is it's going to be different for every kid. And for me anyway, the important thing is that you choose the school and coach that you believe will allow you to progress and move on in your career and your life, whether that's in Quebec or in the States or in Ontario. It's not so important. It's about choosing the right place for each student. And I think what Karim and some other guys as well have done in the last couple of years is show that Quebec can provide some of those options that maybe the kids didn't think of in the 5 years before that. It's important that the parents and the kids are making informed decisions. I think every coach in Quebec, the CEGEP across the league wants those kids to make informed decisions and to choose a place that's right for them, and a place where they're going to fit in and thrive, and not necessarily just look at the next 1 year or 2 years, but look at the next 4 years, the next 10 years, and how that's going to help them move on in their life. I think obviously, like I said, coaching the Quebec team and coaching in Quebec at CEGEP, I want to see the best kids stay here. And I really think that the CEGEP experience can provide a couple of things that, Ontario and the US cannot, especially as far as years of playing without loss of eligibility. But it really depends on where kids feel most comfortable, and that's up to us as coaches to make sure that we give them that feeling and make sure that they know what opportunities we can provide them with.
All right, so Coach, you've been with Champlain for many years, so you've seen a lot of players come and go through the program for many years here. If your life was on the line, okay, Coach, who would you rely on to hit a three-pointer to keep you alive?
Out of the guys that I've coached before?
Yes, it could be anyone that you've coached at Champlain.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I'm going to go with Yusuf Walrig, who played when I was an assistant coach. Either Yusuf or maybe Kenny Jean-Louis. Both of those guys I'm going with just because they were real gamers, for lack of a better word. Neither one of them maybe the best three-point shooter statistically that we had, but just guys that were confident and could will a ball to go into the basket when they needed it. So
from the current squad, who do you got saving your life?
I mean, it's tough to go anywhere but Lucas. You know, like he as a rookie, he shot like 50% from three for the season, which is, you know, just unheard of. So yeah, I'd have to go with Lucas for a three at the end of the game.
How's his game evolved? I know with no gameplay, how's it been for him going to year 2 of his career?
I mean, he's been working on his body, get bigger, get stronger, get faster. And in some sense, you know, just having a year of downtime has helped a little bit with that. I think, you know, he's matured physically, which is going to be great. Shooting wise, you know, I don't think he's got nearly as many shots up as he would like normally, but his touch will come back, and I think, you know, his body is going to allow him to take a step in the right direction and move on to the next stage of his career for year 3 and beyond.
Obviously, we're all in the world of COVID, and we can't determine when we'll play. But in your mind, what do you think will happen with this whole process, and when do you think you'll be back on the court with a full team practice in preparation for an actual season?
Honestly, I've given up trying to figure that out. We'll leave that up to smarter people than me. We have kind of a plan in place for when we get the word to be allowed back. I think clearly it will have to happen in a progressive manner. We're not going to be cleared and then play in the next week. I think we need months to prepare. You know, we'll have not played a real game of basketball for 18, 20 months. And it will take some time to readapt, just as far as injury prevention and getting bodies back up to basketball shape will take some time. So I think it will happen progressively, and we'll be ready for whatever scenario the RCQ throws at us. But I think, you know, slowly this spring we'll start to get back into aiming to play later on.
Last question, Coach. What do you miss and despise in the basketball season that always gets to you at some point?
I mean, I think the thing I miss most is just waiting for the game to start. The last couple of minutes, kind of talking to the guys in the pregame huddle. That's probably the most exciting time. As far as what I despise, I mean, on the court, there's really not much. I mean, the Champlain Bridge, honestly, is probably the thing that I despise. Getting across that every day is pretty taxing. But you know, that's probably the only thing. I think, you know, not getting to spend. I mean, I've been able to spend a lot more time with my family, which has been really nice.
Yeah.
And a positive out of this whole thing for me. But I miss being around the guys and having that the same thing as them, that structure of going and being part of a process and building up towards something. And, you know, maybe we win in the end, maybe we don't, but it's progress. You feel like you're going somewhere. And I miss that. I miss that feeling.
I'll leave you with this, Coach. One thing I don't miss is when we leave Champlain at 11:30, whatever it is, after a Friday night game, and you feel that stiff, cold breeze coming up from the St. Lawrence River into the parking lot. You're like, my God, it is so cold outside.
Yeah, there is some. It's true. That made me think of the getting back from Saint Foy at 2:30 in the morning, trying to find taxis for the guys. That's probably something I can do without as well. But yeah, that cold wind will get you in the parking lot every time.
Always, Coach. Coach, listen, hopefully we'll see each other sooner than later. Probably sometime in the spring, if not earlier. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
But hopefully we'll see better times ahead. And happy holidays to you and the family. And we'll cross paths sooner than later, Coach.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Appreciate everything you do. And yeah, let's hope we see each other sooner rather than later.
Absolutely, Coach. Take care.
All right. Thanks for your time.